story I hear from my mom is she had to run away from that guy, and he was not my father, he found out.
The frosted tips may have faded, and the baggy pants might be gathering dust in the attic, but the legend of Vanilla Ice persists. For decades, fans and critics alike have wondered about his past, and a fascinating whispered suspicion has followed Robert Van Winkle like a lyrical shadow. So, what revelation has the iconic rapper behind the 1990s hit Ice Ice Baby revealed? And what's the odd story of his childhood? Now, at the age of 58, Vanilla Ice finally admits what we all suspected. Things were going so fast. Tommy Kwan, the owner of City Lights nightclub, where Ice regularly performed, might have seen the commercial potential in Ice's talents and signed him to a contract in the winter of the late 1987 in South Dallas. Or maybe it was the following summer. All exact dates have dissolved into a haze of liquor, hairspray, and the tinnitus caused by long-gone 808 claps. The only thing anyone can agree on is that at the height of hip-hop's first golden age, all the action in Triple D went down at City Lights. And Ice was at the center of it all, even in unexpected ways. Ice's musical prowess may have made him a household name. He was also famous for the kind of women he was linked to. He was initially linked to Rowan Brewer and Connie Hamzy, though the details about his time with both were never disclosed, but that was the peak of his dating pool. Well, he had his first high-profile romance with none other than Madonna, and even almost wed the Queen of Pop. For decades, fans and critics alike have wondered about his past, his relationships, and the secrets he's kept hidden. Now, at 58, Vanilla Ice is finally opening up about the things that have been whispered about for years. In a shocking revelation, he's admitting to what many have long suspected. With his characteristic candor and humor, Ice is sharing his side of the story, with many still wondering what went wrong with him and Madonna. Vanilla Ice recounted the experience on the Just Jenny with Jenny Hutt podcast, saying things were moving incredibly quickly. He felt overwhelmed, questioning the pace of events and wondering if he was truly ready. He thought he was just getting started, and it was all happening too fast, especially considering his young age. Ice explained that he and Madonna first met in the early 90s when she attended one of his shows in New York City. Though he was excited to spot her in the crowd dancing to his song and visibly enjoying herself, he found her intimidating due to her star power. At the time, he was in his early 20s and had just broken through, while Madonna was in her early 30s. This meant the two of them are at a different phase in their lives, especially when it comes to relationships. He recalled the moment she returned to the dressing room, greeting him warmly and flashing him a flirtatious glance. This encounter made him question his initial assumption about her intentions. A conversation with SBK Records co-founder Charles Koppelman, father of the podcast host, revealed that he hadn't misread the situation. Koppelman soon arranged a date at the Palm Steakhouse. The experience of dating one of the world's most famous celebrities was surreal. He likened his life to a snow globe, shaken up by the intense scrutiny. He compared it to the challenges faced by Justin Bieber, but felt his own experience was even more extreme. Despite the global attention, he and Madonna managed to maintain a relatively normal relationship behind closed doors. When stripped of the celebrity factor, their relationship was like any other, with two people navigating their connection. But what really went wrong with the two, despite having a regular relationship? Let's delve into that. The turning point. The release of Madonna's erotic coffee table book Sex in 1992 marked a turning point in her relationship with Vanilla Ice. The book featured explicit photos of Ice, alongside other celebrities like Isabella Rossellini and Naomi Campbell. Ice expressed his discontent with the book's release, stating he wasn't a fan and didn't want to be involved. He recalled feeling blindsided and questioning Madonna's decision to include him in the project. Ice considered taking legal action, but ultimately decided against it, choosing to distance himself from the controversy instead. The aftermath of the book's release led to the demise of their relationship, with both parties going their separate ways. Despite the tumultuous end to their romance, Ice spoke highly of Madonna, acknowledging her legendary status and impact on the music industry. He praised her as one of the greatest artists ever, showing appreciation for her contributions despite their personal differences. Their relationship, which lasted just over a year, was previously described by Ice as not being fueled by love. The experience left a lasting impact on his public image, with the explicit photos and association with Madonna's provocative book becoming a defining aspect of his career. The incident showcased the challenges of navigating high-profile relationships and the potential consequences of being in the public eye. For Ice, it was a learning experience that shaped his perspective on fame and personal boundaries, but the relationship with Madonna wouldn't be the end for Ice. Ice's personal life took a significant turn when he met his future wife, Laura Giarretta. The couple's relationship blossomed, and they eventually tied the knot. Their marriage lasted for nearly 2 decades, a testament to their commitment and love for each other. During their time together, they welcomed 2 beautiful daughters, Dusty Rain and Keely Breeze. As a devoted father, Vanilla Ice prioritized his daughters' well-being and upbringing. He ensured they had a stable and loving environment, despite the challenges that came with being a celebrity parent. His daughters have grown into talented individuals, and Ice couldn't be prouder of the people they've become. However, after nearly 20 years of marriage, Laura Giarretta filed for divorce in 2016. The reasons behind their separation have not been publicly disclosed, but it's clear that the decision was not taken lightly. Despite their divorce, both Ice and Giarretta have maintained a sense of respect and civility, particularly when it comes to co-parenting their daughters. Ice's relationship with his daughters remains strong, and he continues to be an involved and loving father. He has spoken publicly about the importance of his family and the role they've played in his life. Through the ups and downs of his career and personal life, Ice's daughters have been a constant source of joy and inspiration. But his relationships aren't the only reasons Ice has often found himself in the news. A ride of controversies. Vanilla Ice's life has been a wild ride, marked by a series of controversies, run-ins with the law, and unexpected twists. On August 8, 1988, Ice's need for speed landed him in hot water when he was arrested in South Dallas for illegal drag racing. This brush with authority was just the beginning of a series of incidents that would shape his public persona. In 1990, Ice faced a lawsuit threat from Queen and David Bowie over his use of samples from their hit song Under Pressure in Ice Ice Baby. The matter was eventually settled out of court, but the incident highlighted the complexities of sampling and copyright law. As for Ice, his run-ins with the laws wasn't at all deterred. On June 3, 1991, Ice's life took a dramatic turn when he was arrested in Los Angeles on firearm charges. According to reports, Ice had threatened a homeless man, James N. Gregory, with a pistol after Gregory approached his car outside a supermarket and attempted to sell him a silver chain. Well, with Los Angeles being very strict on illegal weapon possession, Ice found himself in hot water. He and his bodyguard were charged with 3 weapons offenses. Years later, Ice took his street persona into his home. In January 2001, Ice's personal life made headlines when he was arrested by police in Davie, Florida, for assaulting his wife, Laura. The incident occurred during a heated argument while driving, during which Ice admitted to pulling hair from her head to prevent her from jumping out of the truck's window. 4 months later, Ice pled guilty to charges of disorderly conduct and was sentenced to probation and ordered to attend family therapy sessions. In a lighter vein, Ice's pets often stole the spotlight. In November 2004, his pet Wallaroo, Bucky, and pet goat Poncho escaped from his wife's grandmother's home in Port St. Lucie, Florida. The animals wandered around local streets for over a week before being caught and returned to Ice. He paid over $200 fine for expired pet tags and an undisclosed fine for the escape of the animals. But Ice wouldn't let his pets take all the spotlights away from him. On April 10, 2008, Ice was arrested in Palm Beach County on a battery charge for allegedly kicking and hitting his wife. However, the charges were later dropped after his lawyers provided evidence that conflicted with the original reports. Despite this, Ice was ordered by a Florida court to stay away from his wife and to communicate with his children only if their neighbor, Frank Morales, accompanied him. In February 2015, Ice faced more serious charges when he was arrested and charged with residential burglary and grand theft. According to reports, Ice had allegedly stolen furniture, a pool heater, bicycles, and other items from a Florida home that he believed to be vacant. He later accepted a plea deal, which would result in the charges being dropped following his completion of 100 hours of community service and payment of restitution to the estate of the homeowner. Throughout his life, Vanilla Ice has navigated a complex web of controversies, run-ins with the law, and unexpected twists. But where did this journey all started from, and what exactly is the man like? Let's find out. The turbulent rise of a hip-hop star, the iconic rapper and breakdancer, has been a staple of hip-hop culture for decades. With his charismatic personality and high-energy performances, he has built a loyal fan base and remains a beloved figure in the music industry. Vanilla Ice exudes confidence and charisma, both on and off stage. His energetic and enthusiastic personality is infectious, drawing in fans and leaving them wanting more. Whether he's performing live or interacting with fans, Vanilla Ice is always authentic and unapologetic, staying true to himself and his artistic vision. Ice's performances are a unique blend of rap and dance, showcasing his skills as a multifaceted artist. His ability to seamlessly transition between rap and dance has become a hallmark of his style, influencing many fans and artists. With his bold and eclectic fashion sense, Vanilla Ice has become an iconic figure in hip-hop culture, known for his flashy clothing, jewelry, and hairstyles. But it all started in a small world that's full of uncertainties. Born Robert Matthew Van Winkle on October 31, 1967, in Dallas, Texas, Vanilla Ice's early life was a whirlwind of instability and creative expression. His mother, Carolyn Van Winkle, navigated multiple marriages, leaving young Ice without a consistent father figure. However, one of his stepfathers, Brian, played a pivotal role in shaping his formative years, providing guidance and support that would later influence his artistic trajectory. As a child, Vanilla Ice was entranced by hip-hop's infectious beats and poetic lyrics. He found solace in the art form, which would eventually become his creative outlet and passion. At just 13, Ice began breakdancing, and his friends bestowed upon him the nickname Vanilla, due to his unique presence in their predominantly African-American group. Initially, he disliked the moniker, but it stuck, becoming an integral part of his identity. As he honed his skills in battle rapping, his friends started calling him MC Vanilla. When he joined a break dance troupe, the name Vanilla Ice was born, combining his nickname with one of his signature dance moves, the Ice. Ice's family relocated frequently, moving between Dallas and Miami, where his stepfather worked at a car dealership. Despite the uncertainty, Ice's passion for music only grew stronger. He spent hours perfecting his rhymes, weaving together vivid narratives and complex wordplay. At 16, he wrote the iconic song Ice Ice Baby, drawing inspiration from a wild weekend with his friend D. Shay in South Florida. The song's lyrics vividly described a harrowing experience, blending Ice's rhyming prowess with the gritty realities of his environment. As Ice navigated his teenage years, he attended R.L. Turner High School, balancing his love for motorbikes and street performing with his breakdancing group, the Vanilla Ice Posse. Ice didn't take high school seriously, though, often neglecting his homework to focus on music and motorbikes. The most surprising thing is that his mother fully supported his flimsy attitude towards school. This motivated him even more, dropping out from school at the 10th grade. So, how did he move from a wannabe to a full-fledged star? Focused on the big prize. In the mid-1980s, Ice's life was a blur of speed and adrenaline, fueled by his passion for motocross. He dominated the tracks, winning 3 championships in 1985 alone. But fate had other plans. A devastating ankle injury forced Ice to reevaluate his racing career, and he found himself with a newfound appreciation for spare time. As his ankle healed, Ice channeled his energy into perfecting his dance moves, creating his own styles and techniques. During this time, Ice honed his skills as a street performer with his friends at local malls, showcasing his beatboxing and breakdancing talents. One fateful evening, he visited City Lights, a South Dallas nightclub, where a friend dared him to take the stage during an open mic night. Ice's charisma and talent won over the crowd, and he was soon asked to perform regularly by the club's manager, John Bush. As Ice took the stage at City Lights, he was joined by his disc jockeys D. Shay and Zero, as well as Earthquake, the club's local disc jockey. The Vanilla Ice Posse, also known as the VIP, added to the energy, performing alongside Ice in a fascinating blend of music and dance. Ice's performances opened doors for him to share the stage with iconic acts like Nigga with Attitude, Public Enemy, and MC Hammer. But Ice's journey wasn't without its challenges. In January 1987, he was stabbed 5 times during a scuffle outside City Lights. After a harrowing 10-day hospital stay, Ice signed a contract with Tommy Kwan, the owner of City Lights, and his management company, Ultrax. Kwan saw commercial potential in Ice's rapping and dancing skills and invested in his future. Kwan and Ice worked tirelessly to perfect their craft, recording songs with various producers, including Kyrie. 2 years of production culminated in an album deal with Ichiban Records, an independent record company. The album's first single, Play That Funky Music, was released with Ice Ice Baby as the B-side. Although the single initially struggled to gain traction, a Georgia disc jockey's decision to play Ice Ice Baby instead of the A-side sparked a grassroots movement. The song's popularity snowballed, and other radio stations followed suit. With the song's success gaining momentum, Kwan invested $80,000 in a music video for Ice Ice Baby. The video received heavy airplay on the box, further fueling public interest in the song. As Ice's star continued to rise, it was clear that this talented rapper and breakdancer was here to stay. In the late 1980s, Vanilla Ice's charisma and dance moves captivated the attention of Public Enemy, one of the most influential hip-hop groups of the time. They saw immense potential in the young rapper and attempted to convince their producer, Hank Shockley, to sign him to Def Jam. Although this opportunity slipped through Ice's fingers, he soon found himself signing a contract with SBK Records in 1990, a move that would propel him to stardom. SBK Records saw an opportunity to capitalize on Ice's growing popularity and remixed and re-recorded his debut album, Hooked, re-releasing it as To the Extreme. The reissue boasted new artwork and music, showcasing Ice's unique blend of style and swagger. However, Ice would later regret his business agreements with SBK, claiming they paid him to adopt a more commercial, conventional appearance. This decision would haunt him, as he felt his artistic integrity was compromised. Despite Ice's reservations, To the Extreme became the fastest-selling hip-hop album of all time, spending an astonishing 16 weeks at #1 on the Billboard 200 chart and selling a staggering 11 million copies. The album's success was fueled by the massive hit single Ice Ice Baby, which dominated radio airwaves and dance floors. SBK record executive Monty Lipman recalled receiving calls from radio stations reporting over 200 phone calls requesting the song daily. As a result, SBK wanted Ice on the road as soon as possible. Ice's rising star power landed him a spot as an opening act on MC Hammer's Please Hammer Don't Hurt 'Em World Tour. This opportunity not only exposed Ice to new audiences, but also solidified his reputation as a dynamic performer. MC Hammer, an old acquaintance from Ice's club days, recognized the young rapper's potential and welcomed him onto his tour. A changed public image. In the whirlwind of his meteoric rise, SBK Records licensed a 12 inches doll in his likeness, a testament to his status as a cultural phenomenon. Ice's creative endeavors extended beyond music, though. He made a memorable appearance as a musical guest on Saturday Night Live in January 1991, showcasing his charisma and stage presence. He also dipped his toes in the film industry, starring in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: The Secret of the Ooze, which he later described as one of the coolest experiences of his career. Despite his fame, Ice remained fiercely protective of his personal life, particularly his family. When a reporter from the Dallas Morning News inquired about his mother's profession, Ice responded with a curt nature would lead to a series of misunderstandings and false narratives about his life. In a bizarre attempt to rectify the lack of information about Ice's life, his former label, SBK, fabricated a biography in his name without his knowledge. The biography detailed false claims, including an alleged friendship with Luther Campbell and exaggerated stories about his living conditions in Miami. Ice would later debunk these falsehoods himself, frustrated by the label's actions. As Ice's success continued to skyrocket, he attracted unwanted attention from record producer Suge Knight. Knight's intimidating tactics began with a confrontation at the Palm in West Hollywood, where Ice was dining with his bodyguards. Knight and his entourage repeatedly showed up at Ice's performances and hotel suites, culminating in a chilling encounter on the balcony of the Bel Age Hotel. According to Ice, Knight threatened to throw him off the balcony unless he signed over the publishing rights to Ice Ice Baby. Ice would later claim that Knight used the song's profits to fund Death Row Records. As Ice navigated the cutthroat world of entertainment, he faced challenges that would test his resolve and resilience. Despite the turmoil, he continued to create music and push boundaries. The dark days and new beginnings. As Ice's music career continued to spin out of control, he turned his attention to film. In April 1991, he began filming Cool as Ice, a movie in which he played the lead role. Despite the hype, the film opened to negative reviews, grossing a modest $638,000 in its opening weekend. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a lowly 8% score, and Ice would later receive a Golden Raspberry Award for Worst New Star, highlighting the extent of the film's disappointing performance and that of Ice. SBK would claim that they overexposed Ice, leading him to distance himself from their business advice and the image they were trying to create for him. Despite the setbacks in the United States, Ice's global appeal remained strong. In late 1991, he appeared in the Circus of the Stars and Sideshow, thrilling audiences with his awe-inspiring motorcycle stunt through a wall of fire. In 1992, Ice embarked on a world tour, performing in South America, Europe, Australia, and Asia. He premiered new songs like Get Loose and The Wrath, showcasing his continued creativity and passion for music. After a performance in Acapulco, the city honored Ice with a medal, recognizing his contributions to music and his artistry. Ice's fame may have waxed and waned in the United States, but he remained a sought-after spokesperson for major brands. He partnered with Nike and Coca-Cola, leveraging his image and influence to promote their products. These high-profile endorsements demonstrated Ice's enduring appeal and his ability to transcend genres and cultures. After years of non-stop touring, Ice took a break from music to pursue new passions. He began competing in jet skiing, showcasing his need for speed and adrenaline, and resumed motocross racing, reigniting his love for the thrill of the track. As Ice explored the Rastafari movement, he adopted a vegetarian lifestyle, grew dreadlocks, and became more open about his cannabis use. These changes reflected his growing interest in spirituality and self-expression. Meanwhile, he worked on his next album, Mind Blowin', released on March 22, 1994. Despite his efforts, the album received unfavorable reviews, with critics describing it as clunky and embarrassing. During this period, Ice struggled with addiction, using ecstasy, cocaine, and heroin. He got numerous tattoos, often during periods of heavy substance use. In a moment of desperation, Ice attempted suicide with a heroin overdose on July 4, 1994, but was revived by friends. This near-death experience marked a turning point, and Ice decided to change his life. He got a tattoo of a leaf on his stomach, symbolizing his attempt to start anew. Ice shifted his focus to motocrossing and jet skiing in Florida, competing nearly every weekend. By the summer of 1995, he was ranked number 6 in the world as a sit-down jet ski racer and earned a Kawasaki sponsorship. Uncertain about his music career, Ice studied real estate and started renovating and selling houses on the side. In late 1995, Ice set up a recording studio in Miami and joined a grunge band called Pickin' Scabs. The name reflected his journey of healing and recovery. In 1996, longtime associate Monty Lipman signed Ice to Universal Republic Records. Ice also made a guest appearance on the Bloodhound Gang's song Boom, marking a new chapter in his musical career. A new chapter with Ross Robinson. Vanilla Ice's life took a dramatic turn when he befriended renowned producer Ross Robinson, known for his work with Deftones, Korn, and Limp Bizkit. The two shared a passion for motocross racing, and Robinson saw an opportunity to collaborate with Ice on a new album. Despite warnings from others that working with Ice might tarnish his reputation, Robinson was undeterred. "It's the most punk rock thing you could do," he said, embracing the challenge. Ice, too, had come to terms with his past, refusing to change his stage name or distance himself from his older music. Instead, he chose to confront his demons and channel his emotions into his art. With Robinson's guidance, Ice's third studio album, Hard to Swallow, took shape. The album's darker sound and lyrics reflected Ice's growth and newfound honesty. As Ice toured again, he attracted a whole new audience, some of whom were unfamiliar with his mainstream sound. The shows featured a 7-piece live band, including future Weezer bassist Scott Schreiner. The setlist blended rock-oriented material from Hard to Swallow with older hip-hop tracks, including a powerful rendition of Power, inspired by Led Zeppelin's Immigrant Song. Ice, in turn, credited Robinson with helping him tap into his emotions and channel his anger into his music. Writing and performing the songs became a form of therapy, allowing Ice to confront his past and express himself authentically. though reviews were mixed, with some critics praising the album's conviction and others dismissing it as unoriginal. Hard to Swallow marked a new chapter in Ice's career. He had found a new voice, one that was raw, honest, and unapologetic. But that wouldn't be the only new chapter in his life. In 1999, Ice traded his mic for a mitt, joining the softball team the Hip Hop Stars alongside music legends Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Method Man in a game broadcast on MTV Rockin' Jock. This light-hearted appearance belied the chaos that would soon follow. Later that year, MTV asked Ice to participate in their special 25 Lame, where he was tasked with destroying the master tape of his infamous music video, Ice Ice Baby. Armed with a baseball bat, Ice went rogue, demolishing not only the tape, but the entire set. Vanilla Ice's eclectic pursuits extended to the wrestling ring, where he filled in for Insane Clown Posse member Shaggy 2 Dope in a match promoted by Juggalo Championship Wrestling. MTV News reported that Insane Clown Posse would appear on Ice's upcoming album, Bomb Tha System. Ice also performed at the Gathering of the Juggalos, solidifying his connection with the fan base. On October 23, 2001, Ice released the album Bipolar, a genre-bending effort that defied categorization. Initially conceived as a double album, Bipolar featured rock and hip-hop tracks, collaborations with La the Darkman, Perla, Insane Poetry, and Bob Kakaha. Despite mixed reviews, with some critics praising the album's rap beats and others dismissing it as wildly uneven and hilariously bad, Bipolar showcased Ice's fearless approach to music. Well, Ice's fame might be on the wane, and his music may not be as famous as they used to be. He did make a good amount of money, though, and his source of income might surprise you. A lot of cold, hard cash. Ice's net worth is probably higher than you might think. The rapper, actor, and entrepreneur is seriously loaded, despite not having a charting single in decades, and it's mostly thanks to some really smart investing. The rapper not only released the fastest-selling hip-hop single of all time with Ice Ice Baby, but he's made serious dough since transitioning to being a real estate mogul, and even wrote a book about it. Cool, right? Now he's got houses and cars that even other hip-hop heavyweights would envy. Vanilla Ice's net worth in 2025 is estimated at $20 million, and most of that wealth didn't come from his music career, though he's still active there too. On a recent episode of Steve-O's podcast, Steve-O's Wild Ride, Ice said that once he stopped selling 1 million records a day, he realized he still had a ton of real estate nationwide that he'd purchased and never used. He flipped his first property in 1992 when one of his homes was damaged in Hurricane Andrew, doing much of the renovations himself. Since then, he's been a real estate connoisseur, studying at design school and working as a general contractor. He generally buys properties that have tax liens or are otherwise in distress, as well as unlisted and off-market homes, which lets him buy homes for pennies on the dollar. He renovates and flips the properties, but his revenue streams don't stop there. He also had his own show on the Magnolia Network, The Vanilla Ice Project, that chronicled his house flips from 2010 to 2019. You know how, for most of us, our Honda Civics depreciate in value as soon as we drive them off the dealer lot? Well, Vanilla Ice isn't like the rest of us. In fact, Ice boasts a fleet of 31 cars that he says is worth an estimated $50 million. Ice has a passion for cars, that much is clear, but what truly drew him to them was their history and the stories behind them. He believed that celebrity-owned vehicles carried significantly more value due to these stories. One of his prized possessions was a Continental previously owned by Dean Martin, a legendary member of the Rat Pack. This particular car was notable not only for its famous past owner, but also for being the most expensive car in the world when it was first released in 1956. Despite the odd childhood, ill-fated end to his marriage, a fast declining music career, and an ill-advised relationship with the Queen of Pop, Madonna, Vanilla Ice had managed to scale through, etching his name in the history of music and motorsport. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Also, check out another interesting video by clicking on the video shown on your screen. See you on the other side.